Hello everyone, today I will walk you through our event management system's authentication flow, which implements robust security measures while maintaining a smooth user experience. So let's start with user registration. Users provide essential details like username, email, and password. Our system immediately checks if the username or email is unique. If not unique, registration fails with appropriate error message. If unique, we create the user account, but with a twist, it's not immediately active. We generate a unique verification token, and an email is automatically sent to the user with this verification token. The verification email contains a unique link with the token. Users have 48 hours to click the link, and if they click within 48 hours, their account is enabled. The verification token is cleared and they can proceed to log in. If the token expires, they will need to request a new verification email and the process restarts with a fresh 48-hour window. Our login system includes more security measures. Users enter their email and password. Before checking credentials, we verify login attempts. So if a user made fewer than 5 attempts, we validate their credentials. If credentials are correct, we generate JSON Web Token and grant access. If wrong credentials, we increment attempt counter. If they reach 5 failed attempts, account is automatically blocked for 15 minutes. This prevents brute force attacks, and after 15 minutes, attempt counter automatically resets. So let's move to VS Code and implement all of these. Okay guys, last time we did the security of our backend system, but with Spring Boot best practices, it recommended us to work with Lambda function. So mainly because Lambda expressions provide better compile time checking, making our security configurations more robust and easier to maintain. So next we have to fill the organization class. We didn't do it last time. So here we should add some annotations. We will start by adding our getters and setters and entity data and required args constructor. So here we should add our ID field. So the strategy is, as always, generation type dot identity. So private long ID and private string organization name. This should be unique, so column unique equal true. Then private string organization address and private string organization city and organization country. Next string phone number. Next private string business category, and next private string registration number, and private string owner first name and owner last name. So this is private, and again string owner job title. So which user have registered his organization with us, he needs to tell us his job title inside the organization. Then next we added onboarding complete. Basically this, we will talk about this later in a future video. So private string invitation token and private users owner, which one is the owner of this organization. So this should be a one-to-one relationship, and join column name owner ID. Let's see in our users class the owner of our organization, So private set, should add an import here for set. So here should have organization memberships equal new hash set, and we will annotate this with one-to-many relationship. So mapped by organization and cascade type dot all orphan removal equal true. So next we will add some methods here. So for adding a member, to take some parameters here, user and status. We should create this membership status, which is an enum. It should just have pending and joined. So string invitation token UUID dot random UUID dot string. So organization membership equal new organization membership, and this user invitation token and status. So memberships dot add membership and user dot get memberships dot add membership. So next we will add, let's fix this, and we should add here some fields. So annotations like usual, and generated value strategy equal generation type dot identity and private long ID, private organization, and annotate this with minute one relationship. Join column is the organization ID and private users user, minute one relationship, and join column equal user ID. Next is private string. So this is a column unique, and next private membership status enumerated type dot string, and let's add here the constructor for this class. So here we will add, let's get rid of this ID, and we don't have the error here. So next public void remove member users. So basically this method doesn't return anything, so that's why it's void, but I guess you all know this. So m.get user dot equal user dot find first dot or else null. So if membership doesn't equal null, then membership dot remove membership. Then user dot get memberships dot remove membership, and membership dot set organization. And last we should add the boolean has member. So basically this checks if it has a member or not. So any match m dot get user dot equals user, and m dot get status equal membership status dot joined. So we'll add another here also has pending invitation. So users user and return membership dot stream dot any match, and m dot get user equals user, and membership dot pending. Forgot here to make the status. So basically that's it. Next let's get through this interface and add some method here for register. So basically this will take username and email, password, and role name as arguments. So it will throw a username. We didn't create exceptions, so let's create them here. So username exists exception, and let's add another class here, username not found exception, and email not found exception, and another one, email exists exception. Let's add another one, email not verified, and this one will extend exception. And let's add the constructor here, so message super message. So basically when we will call this class, we will add the message inside. So this extends exception and public username. You will see an example later in the video how this works. So extends exceptions and public It's called the constructor here, string message and super message. Next, let's do the same for these classes. So basically this is the same process. So super message, and then here extends exception, public email not found exception, and super message. So here it will throw an error, which is username exists or email exists exception. The next one is the login. It will return a string, which is the JSON Web Token, generated JSON Web Token. So here we will throw 3 exceptions. So next we'll add this method to get our users. So let's import list and get over here and create the user service. So the user service will implement user service interface, which we have just created. We annotate this with service and transactional. So this will have to implement some methods here and private final users repo. We already created the users repository. So here JSON Web Token provider and private final authentication manager, and private final email service. We have to create this. So private final verification token service also should create this. So here email service first. So this class basically is responsible for creating verification emails, setting up content. We will see how this works, and sending the email. So here we should add boolean send verification email, string 2, string token, and try catch block. So simple mail message equal just change, and then message.set from. This will be string and message.set to and 2, and set subject email verification. So set text, this is the text that will be included in the email. So to verify your email, we should add the token here. So we should add the address. So basically we will add this endpoint later. So we should generate the token, and here mail sender. Oh, we forgot the mail sender. So mail sender.send message, and it will return true. So else it will return false. So next we will have to create this verification token service. Here we will add users repo again and string generate verification token. So this generate verification token basically creates a new unique verification token. And again, public void create verification token. This takes 2 parameters, the user and the token associates a verification token with the user, sets the token expiry date. So here we should add the user.set verification token expiry date and calculate. We should create this method again. So int expiry time. So we should add the calendar and set time, new date. So basically we use the calendar class to add specified minutes to current time and returning the result future date. So here we should add 48 multiplied by 16, which is 2 days from now, and we will save the user. So public users validate verification token. This basically validates the verification token when a user clicks the email link and finds the user associated with this token. So if user is null, or user.get verification token expiry date dot before new date return null, user otherwise user.set enabled. So basically here we will set enabled that we have in our users class. So user repo, and we save the user. So next we will add here private final login attempt service. We should add this class, and we will annotate it with service again, and private static final int max attempt. We will start by adding 5, but you can add whatever number you like, so it will increment by 1. And next we will add private login cache. So this is basically what we have added in our pom.xml file. And login attempt cache. So this Google Guava cache to store attempt counts. It's very useful in our application. So cache builder dot new builder dot expire after write. Basically this will have a key and dot minute, minimum size 100. So this will limit the memory, will limit the cache to 100 entries. That's why we set the 100 here, and dot build cache. So again, public void remove user from login cache, and login cache does invalidate email. So public void add user login. So this will increment the login attempt counter for a user, updates cache with a new count. So here we will add the cache exception. So we'll just print it, and login does put email and attempt. So next we should add public boolean has exceeded maximum number of attempts. This basically will check if user has exceeded maximum attempts, and return true if attempts are greater or equal to maximum attempts. So let's move up to our user service and create our constructor here. So we have to add validate new user name and email. So here we should create this class, this method, sorry. So private void and username exists. So users by username equal user repo dot find user by username new username dot or else null. So here we have to add optional, so which came from java.util.optional, and we add users. So here we should add email, and we add another one to find the user by email. So here we should add user email and user repo dot find user by email new email or else null. So if user by username doesn't equal null, and user by username is not username is not equal to current username, then true new username exists exception, which is this. So basically, if you remember correctly, in our exceptions we added message. This is the message that will be displayed. So if user by email is not null again, and user by email dot get email dot equals current username, term new email exists exception. And this is the message again of the exception. So here we should add null username and email, and role dot get role by name. We should create this method as well. So return and dot or else throw new illegal argument exception. So here we'll add invalid role white one manner. So java.util.optional. So next user equal new users and user dot set username and dot set email and dot set join date, which is the actual date of right now, and we should encrypt the password as well, and role dot name for the user role. So set authorities, and we will get the authorities for that role. Next, set profile image URL. We should add a method here. We'll set it later. So enabled, we initialize it of false, and user repo, we will save the user. So we should generate the token here. That's verification service, generate verification token. So next, email sent equal, here we will send the email to the user. So if email is not sent, then we will just print a message to the console. Email failed to be sent to the user, and we will return the user. So we should add a return statement here. This is basically just a link to our temporary profile image. So here, load user by username, we should find user by email. Let's stick with email. So here, or else new email not found exception. This email doesn't exist, please try again. So, and we will catch any other exception. So runtime exception and E. So what we have left is the login. So we should add here users, find user by email, and so basically here we will check if email is verified, and we will validate login attempts and verify the password, and lastly create the authentication token and update the last login date. So here, or else true, and we'll true just an exception here. So user name or email not found exception, and this email cannot be found, please try again. So here we should add new, and we will add an if statement here. So if user is enabled, means if he verified his email. If he is not enabled, then throw this exception. Please verify your email before logging in. So if login attempt service dot has exceeded maximum number of attempts, then we will try to throw a new runtime exception. And sorry, you have exceeded the maximum attempt. Please try again later. So next, if BCrypt's password encoder does not match the password of the user, then we will add user to login attempt cache email. So basically that's what we did in our login attempt service class. So we'll throw invalid password, please try again. And lastly, we will add authentication, which comes from Spring Security. And here we should add auth equal authentication manager dot authenticate new username password authentication token. Here email, and here password. So next security, context holder, and get context dot set authentication to auth. Next user repo dot find user by email, email dot get dot set last login date to the last login date basically, and we will save the user and we will remove the cache of the user. Then we return the generated token. So here we have an error, which is just this exception. So next we will have to get our users. So we will just return user repo.find all, and it will give us our users. So let's create now our user controller. Here it will handles user registration. So here request mapping user and cross origin. We will add an origin here for our front end application, but you can just give it any other path. So private final user service and BCrypt password encoder, private final verification token service. All these classes we have just created. So JSON web token provided, and let's add a constructor here of all the fields and annotate it with wired. So next we will add public response entity and leave it as default. Register user. So this will handle the user registration. It will take username, email, and password, and the role, and will return created user or error message. We should have this here, request param and password, string password, and lastly the role. So role string or roles. It's not string, it's roles. So roles, we should import it, and that's it. So what this will return. So first try catch block and users, new user equal user service dot register. We will call this method. We will just call this method. So return new response entity, new user, and HTTP status dot created. So if he has successfully created, then we will true this. So it will catch the exception. So either email exists exception or username exists exception, and we will just return the new response entity. And an error occurred during registration. So this basically we will throw 500 for the error and 201 for the created. I mean for the status. So here post mapping, and we'll add a path. It will be register, and here we will add get mapping. So this will be a response entity, and verify email at request param token and string token. So try catch block and user equal VerificationTokenService dot validate verification token. So if user is not null, then we will redirect to front end success page. So this we will be building it later in another video because this will take us some time. So here we will create a new URI. So we should import this manually, I think, again. So java.net.uri, and this we will be able to create a new path. So localhost, this is the path of our front-end application success page. So, or else we will redirect to front-end error page. So return response entity.status dot for found, and we should add this here and replace this with verification failed, and here we should catch and redirect to front end error page. No, it's not. Let's copy this, and this is failed, and this will be an error page. So here we should get our path, which is verify. So public response entity string and the login. So this will handle user login, and it will returns the JSON web token on success. So we have two parameters, which is the email and the password. So this will be a post mapping, and the path is just login. So here we have added some exceptions that we have created. So try and catch block again, and server response token, and user service dot login. So it will return a new response entity. So basically, if the users log in, it will return a status of 200, and here we'll catch an exception. So user not found exception or email not found exception, and here we'll return response entity dot status http status dot unauthorized and invalid email or password. So catch another one, which is email not verified exception, and paste this here, change this to forbidden, and this will be exception.get message. Another catch here, which is exception. We'll copy this and paste it here again. So dot internal server error, an error occurred. So basically this is the status will be 500, the other one will be 403, I guess, and the other one will be 401. So let's go to the console.mvnw spring boot run, and we have an error. So this says that we have an int. It should be long because it's a big integer. So, and an error again. So let's see what the error says. It's not collection. Oh, the annotations. So we basically should go to your organization, and we have this one-to-one users is one to many, which should be one-to-one also. So this is the error. Yeah, so let's run this again. Let's run our application, and we have an error again. So let's see where the error is. So the tickets, oh, we didn't add the methods here. So public event ticket types, get ticket, types, get ticket type, and return event.getTicketTypes by ID, id.getTicketTypes by ID. This should be created. So let's go here and add this. Let's change this to event ID and annotate this with no args constructor and add constructor here for our fields. So what else? Let's annotate this with the getter and setter method annotations, and then public boolean equals object. So if this equal O, return true, and if O equal null, or let's get class, return false. So ticket ID and equal ticket ID O. So return object equals event ID and ticket ID dot event ID. This is not the correct import, so java.util object dot equals ticket type ID and ticket ID dot ticket type ID, and object dot equals sequence number and ticket ID dot sequence number. Override. The next one is also an override method, which is public int hashcode return object dot hash and event ID, ticket type ID, sequence number. So let's try this again, and another error. Why this is giving me the dependency injection. Let's annotate this with lazy. Let's try again, and it started. So we have our application running. Let's test our endpoints. So here I've added the head, the body, some fields. So let's try, and we have an error. So the error is here. Should be true. Yeah, because we didn't invite any user. Let's try again, and it's created. As you can see, we have our authorities which we created in the first video, and enabled is false, and the password is hashed, organization false, all these fields what we have created. So basically that's it. If we try to log in, it will give us an exception, as you will see right now. So please verify your email. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in comments. In the next video, we will see the login step in action. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.